just really excited just to be in this situation for our team and just be able to get to this point. I think with just everything that's happened over the last 8 months, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things that, our team and just everyone around the country didn't know what would happen. So to be in a situation where we're going to have an opportunity to tip off tomorrow, just really excited for our girls, for our program, and for our fans.
Excellent. You guys want to lead us off the questions? Go ahead.
Coach, quick question about the last-minute change in your opponent. The good news is that you were able to get another opponent,
Yes.
but the bad news is you've got to prepare for a brand new opponent. So how did that change your preparation for the game?
I think when you have a great staff behind you, this was something that we talked about early on, that we knew that there could be changes at last minute and just kind of be ready to go when whatever happened. So we were very fortunate that on the same day that our game got canceled, within the same hour, Northern Kentucky's game got canceled. And so just having that relationship with Cameron and just being able to pick the phone up and call, I think was just a great opportunity for us. As far as change-up, it's different. It's a different style. They play different than North Carolina A&T. So, but I think it'll be great for us. I think it'll be great for our girls. At this point, I think everyone around the country is just wanting to be in a situation where they can have a chance to play against someone.
Coach, not only getting that chance to play against someone, but just kind of the early structure of your season. You've got Louisville coming up on Saturday, a conference play starting only a couple weeks down the line. Obviously, everything about this season is different, but with the way it's structured too, how different does that make it with how you kind of get out of the gate here in the opening games?
It's very important that our girls have to be locked in and focused, because you're right. Everything's going to be so different. It's really different for us this year. We've been very fortunate over the past years to have practice players. That's something that we didn't have, prepping and preparing going into the season. So just our focus mentally, we've talked a lot about that. Just, as Coach Fickle said, and I think Coach Brandon and I have really been trying to just follow suit and kind of just talk, to Luke and just different people about, what this is going to look like and how you have to be prepared, and how, the sacrifices of making sure you understand and know it's not about, in any year especially, this is going to be a year where it's not about any individual. It's about our group as a whole and about what we need to do, because anything could happen in any moment. So just really preparing our players to be great at what we do and get better and better every day. So when it comes game time, we can be able to adjust and kind of just go by our principles of how we guard, what we do, and so we can focus on those things more.
You've obviously got a game before Louisville, but I'm just curious, how did you get that game scheduled?
That's that connection. Jeff and I worked together at Nebraska. He's like family. When I was at Western Kentucky, we played, and that was just something that I really wanted to make sure that we were able to bring here to Cincinnati. They're a really, really good team, great powerhouse that, I'm very fortunate that I was able to be a part of building, going to the first Final Four there as an assistant. And then just really wanted our girls to have the opportunity and our fans and our community to be able to witness, a top. I knew they were going to be in the top 10, didn't quite know they'd be top 5 in the country. But just really good, and just want to see for our fans and everyone to see great basketball. And so we're just we're excited about it, and that's kind of how that all came up.
Coach, how much anxiety will there be between now and tip-off tomorrow, just to see if the game happens? I mean, you've got to be taking notice that everything that's happening, in college basketball right now, and how much relief will there be when that ball goes up in the air?
That's a great question.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, as of now, I know we're on, and that's the good thing. We've did our testing protocol. We've been testing, and I know NKU has too. So you have to have your protocol in place before you have a chance to have your game. So as of now, I know we're on and ready to go, and that anxiety is going to be really big for our players. You just imagine that we haven't played in this arena, how it's going to look. different than it has. It's just a lot of unfamiliarity. But I think the most important thing is they're just really excited and going to be excited just to be able to get the ball up in the air and get going and doing something that they love to do. And that's my biggest thing. We're trying to keep things as normal as possible and whatever that looks like for them. I know that there's probably some coaches around the country that will, because it won't be a lot of fans, won't be a lot of things that they'll, we've had different coaches talk about wearing like just polos during the games. And my staff and I, we're not going to do that. We're going to dress up and we're going to do what we do because we want our players to feel that same game atmosphere and make sure that they walk into that and understand that when the ball goes up in the air, this season is about this season and living and being in that moment.
Have you spent any extra time practicing in Fifth Third Arena to kind of, it's weird to say it, but get used to the game environment of not having anybody in the building?
Yeah, actually, we're very fortunate. That's where we do practice. So we have had the opportunity to practice in Fifth Third and them understanding and knowing what that looks like. And again, just very appreciative to everyone that's worked so hard behind the scenes and that have allowed us to even be in this position today to get close to being able to have a game. So that goes for all the staff, all the trainers, the doctors, and from the top down. So just very appreciative of President Pinto, just everyone being on that page so we can figure out how to have these student athletes have the opportunity to be able to do what they love to do.
Coach, we're obviously very familiar with Imari Thomas and all she's accomplished in her first 3 years at UC, but you've talked a lot about how she has grown in this offseason, taking on a leadership and kind of ownership of this team. How important has that been in obviously a season like this where there's so many unknowns to be able to kind of lean on her and what she's been able to bring in that department? It's
been so crucial for me as a head coach, very crucial for our staff. She's just grown in so many ways, as you said. And I think the most important thing, I give a lot of credit to those seniors that graduated. They showed her a lot. They showed her what it looks like to be a leader, what, things that have to be done. And I depend on her a lot because she understands and knows this culture that we're trying to build and the things that we're doing. And so I'm very fortunate that I have her by my side and that even though she's the only returning starter coming back, she's really embraced every player that's came, that's here, that's returned. And I think that's been really great for our staff. And we've just really, myself as a head coach, just really have tried to build off of that with her and give her also, too, some comfort because it's different when you start off and you're used to playing with certain players all the time. And then there's a whole new, basically almost a big transition in rosters and players that are going to be on the court that can really help her.
Do you have any sense that having such a young team, will that be of any benefit with how weird this season is? None of them don't always know what normal would have been last year, or is that just kind of wishful thinking?
Probably wishful thinking, but I hope that it really helps us some. I think it's shown some, even right now, just in the midst of how some days we can have good practices. Some days the focus might not be as locked in as the staff and I would want it. But at the end of the day, that's just all the growing. We're going to have to go through some growing pains. We really are. Because there's a lot of situations that this group hasn't been in. But I think the greatest thing about being a coach is watching that growth and being a part of it and watching someone like Imari grow and be able to be in a position where she can help lead them on the floor. And the trust is the big thing, and just getting them to trust the staff and I that we can lead them through whatever this whole season looks like.
Coach, when you talk about, kind of the transition, growing pains, whatever you want to call it, with, the new roster that you have this year, obviously we know what Imari brings to the table. We've seen a lot of minutes from Adea Moore in the past, but kind of it seems like maybe that bridge from the old to the new also is Aram Yang being somebody who has been with your program, not only the skill she brings as a skilled big, but being somebody that's been around the program for a year, it would seem that she'd be a very important part of this team.
She's a big part, and you're right. Just transferring here from West Kentucky and, sitting last year and being able to go through the practices and do all the things that, she can be able to bring to the floor this year really helps. I think just understanding the game and just being able to be in a position where she has that comfort level with me as a head coach. And so even though she sat out last year and didn't get to play, I just think that that's a big part that we're going to be able to add to our team this year. Her ability to score in different ways, I think is really going to be a big positive for us. She can shoot the three, but she also can play on the inside. And just her leadership, helping Imari on the floor and being able to help the others so we can all just continue to keep growing. So she's going to be a huge part. She's going to have to be on the floor, really have been focusing with her, trying to make sure that they understand and know that her and Imari are a big part of what we're going to do.